How do subterranean rivers form at the water table? Imagine a hidden river flowing beneath your feet, carving tunnels through rock and shaping the landscape. That's what subterranean rivers are all about. They form in underground spaces at or below the water table, which is the boundary between the unsaturated zone above and the saturated zone below. The saturated zone is where all the soil pores are filled with water, and the water table marks the top of this zone. The process begins when rainwater or surface streams seep into the ground. This water slowly moves downward, passing through sill and rock layers. As it travels, it reaches the water table, where the ground is fully soaked with water. In areas with soluble rocks like limestone, the water becomes slightly acidic by absorbing carbon dioxide from the air and soil. This makes the water weakly acidic, which allows it to dissolve the rock along fractures, joints, and bedding planes. Over time, these tiny cracks get bigger as the rock dissolves, creating underground pathways. When these pathways grow large enough, they turn into tunnels or caves that can carry flowing water. These are the underground rivers. At the water table, the underground passages change from air-filled spaces to water-filled channels, known as the phreatic zone. Water flows through these channels, sometimes forming loops or sumps where water pools. As the underground river continues to erode and enlarge these channels, it can create extensive cave systems. Sometimes, these rivers re-emerge at springs or outlets downstream, connecting the underground with the surface again. Several factors influence how these rivers form. First, the presence of soluble rock like limestone is essential because it dissolves easily. Second, surface water must be available to infiltrate into the ground. Third, the rock's structure, such as fractures and joints, guides the flow of water and helps from the channels. Lastly, the position of the water table determines where these underground rivers can flow. If the water table drops, the rivers may dry up or shift position. Subterranean rivers are different from aquifers, which are porous layers of rock or soil saturated with water but without open channels. These rivers flow in open conduits or caves within the saturated zone, making them unique. They are important because they supply fresh water to springs and wells, support underground ecosystems, and shape the landscape. But they can also cause problems like sinkholes or groundwater contamination if pollutants seep into these underground channels. So, in simple terms, subterranean rivers form when water from the surface dissolves rock along cracks, enlarging these pathways into flowing underground channels at the water table. This process connects surface water with groundwater, creating the fascinating underground rivers that shape our natural world.